Bitcoin in the chop zone. And like our thumbnail says, don't get fooled. It's like the Who's anthem from the 60s. We won't get fooled again. And I'm going to take you through it, so just stick with me. We got Jerome Powell speaking tonight. Of course, 8:40 tonight. This could be a setup for the 115K breakout or trap before the next flush. We're seeing the ETF flows heating up again. Whales are positioning early. Altcoins are starting to wake up. It's all connected, and I'm breaking it down for you right now. Welcome back, Crypto Crew. It's your boy Tom here, bringing you the hottest in crypto action. Please give us a like. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you follow us on X, where we talk about crypto and Bitcoin all day, every day. All right, so we got Jerome Powell speaking tonight at 8:40. The next Fed move could flip the entire market. This time is not the time to sleep. Now, I told you, 8:40 in the evening, the Asian markets will be open. Okay, so you got to keep your eye on dollar yen. Dollar yen is going to be the key. If dollar yen falls hard, it means that it is Bitcoin rally time. Okay, if dollar yen kind of stays stable, we're going to stay in the chop zone. So right now, we got Bitcoin fluctuating, of course, off of the tariff that's happening right now. We're playing around with the CME market gap. And we actually dipped down really, really close to that support level, that 106 that I've been talking about. I'm going to go deeper into the charts so that we could actually do some chart work. So let's do that right now. Let's get into the charts, into the weeds, all right? So I put up an 8-hour chart here, and I want to just go over on the 8-hour what we're seeing, all right? Market structure itself, all right? We got a high, we have a higher low from this point right here, okay? Then we had the breakout, right? Classic, you know, we the marketplace actually, once it broke this level right here, the market decided that it was going to run up to the 105, 106 level, and we attacked the recent high at the 109, broke through it, and created a new higher high right here. Let me get my little brush going. Hopefully I didn't have too much espresso this morning. So right now we have our resistance point like right up in here, right? So, but we have, all right, we have a high, we got a low, we have now a higher low, we had another higher low right here, and the marketplace, once it broke this top, classic market structure continuation here. So now what we're looking for is the next higher low. Okay, I've been talking about 106,000, right? So, but if I go over to a 4-hour chart to get even more into the weeds, so that's a parabolic one. Let's go over here. Let's go to 4-hour. Right here, we say on our chart here, we're testing for support. We're looking for that next higher low or that potential break to a lower low, which would not be the signal for a sale. It would actually be like, okay, once that lower low is printed on the 4-hour, if the market rallies off of it and then turns around and breaks it, market structure says, yes, we're continuing a bit lower. Now remember, this is a 4-hour chart. This has nothing to do with dailies or weeklies. So this is just short-term trading that I'm getting into right now. So we're looking at the 4-hour. We have the same type of structure, right? It's as the 8. It's just a little bit more bars in between, you know, twice the amount or candlesticks in between. Okay, so really, you know, I was saying 106, all right, but there's going to be chaos because, of course, Powell is speaking. Marketplace is going to be, you know, on edge, but it's not the time to sleep, all right? It's really not the time to sleep. Like I also said in the open, you know, it's not time to get fooled again, okay? We've gone over, you know, why Bitcoin is poised to go up no matter what. Now, of course, if you're a short-term trader, you'll be interested in these points that I'm covering. So let me get my Bitcoin breakouts here. Let's see if I can find my Bitcoin sheets. All right, so we made the high of 111,903 on the short term. We make a low now of 106, say like 4. We got to get above 108. Like, we got to get above 109 again. Okay. Once we get above 109, let me see where the chart is right here. Yeah. Okay. Right here. This is the point that short term that we actually have to get above. I would say 109 right there is actually going to then take us back up to the high where either it's going to break through and go to like 115, or it's going to get rejected again, come back down, test that high, that old high right here at like 109,588, that damn high, the old high that we had before the marketplace went down to the 74,000 and everybody was like screaming it's all over. It could come back down to that price and then react back up to 115. Now, I got some longer term points that I'm going to be going over in the next chart. But historically, when Bitcoin is fluctuating rapidly, off of these tariff rumors, but here's the big thing. Every time that it's done this, every time traders bet against this, we see a quick reversal. Now, the key support is holding above 106, which is very important. Could we get a dip? If we get a dip below 106, where are we going? Well, we got this. Look at this little pin right here of 104.2. That's an important point. But however, I want to go to this candle's high right here. That's the next line of defense, 105.608, which is basically 106. So we have a couple of confluence of points here. We have that high on the 4-hour at 106, 105.608. I got the point at 106 even. We've drifted down to 106.4. So we're in a bit of a chop zone right now, but you just got to stay focused on the long-term objectives of the coin. Now, if you're a holder, you don't give a hoot about this. But if you're a short-term trader, you're concerned with the points, right? So what am I saying right now? Well, short-term resistance right now is at the top of this candle right here, 109.307. We got support at 106. We have a decent support on the 4-hour at 105.5. And you say, it's a $500 difference. Well, if you're a short-term trader, you're concerned about the $500, right? And then we have the deeper support right here, which is the higher low that we have at 104.1, and the main support on the 4-hour, which is this low at 101. And then, of course, we go down to the higher low here at 100,000, which was the main support. Could we see this type of volatility? It all depends on what Powell decides to say. I really wish that I could get a look into what his portfolio looks like, what he's doing, what he's buying and selling, like before he gives the speech. Classic baloney. Once you see these guys and you start to, you could see right through them. They don't hold as much weight as they had before. So now let's go over to Bitcoin, where we look at parabolic runs. All right. So the charts are showing bullish breakout. Now, if Bitcoin breaks the final resistance around, I say that the final resistance point is really about 118,000. A lot of chartists are saying 113. I think that's a little bit too close for me. I would rather go to 118,000. But if it does that, we're looking potentially at a run to. Let's start with the 113 that everybody's talking about. Let's talk about that first. Let's say, for instance, we break 113. I believe that there's going to be resistance at 116,000, and then a pullback to about 112,000, and then we get the run towards 120. Now, this probably will take some time. It's not going to just happen straight away. Could be, a couple of weeks before we start looking at 120,000. Could be sooner. I'm telling you, pay attention to dollar yen. That's going to be an important, indicator of what's going on. I talked about that, I believe, yesterday. I'm going into this thing short, and I'm holding on with both hands in my teeth because I saw the weekly breakout, like I talked about yesterday. I'm short this thing. I'm short at 143.15. 143.15. So you'll know what happens to good old Tom if something comes out that the marketplace says, "Oh, dollar yuan is going up." All right, I'll be escaping that trade at 143.95. So I'm holding on, man. It's a gutsy move. It's a gutsy move. But anyway, let's get back to Bitcoin. All right, so I think that we could get a run if the 113 breaks, we can get to 116. We can get then a pullback to about 112. Then we get to run to 120. Now everybody's saying after 120 goes, it's rocketing. It's rocketing. I don't necessarily agree with that. I know markets, and I would think that there is major resistance before that 130,000 psychological level. And I put that resistance at 126,900. Now, I will be happy to see the coin there rather quickly to basically say, oh, we can get a pullback. Where's the pullback going to go? Guess like 117.5, 118 again for consolidation before the takeoff. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. And of course, this is all conjecture. But we've got momentum indicators lining up. And, if you're looking at this chart, you got to say, this chart's impossible to ignore. So you either agree with it or you disagree with it. Now, if you disagree with it, put some comments in. Tell us what your thoughts are. Now, for additional proof, we put up an X post right here that is stating, look, China is unbanning Bitcoin. They have to. The U.S. is adopting a strategic reserve. El Salvador has joined in the game. I mean, in order for China to stay competitive, especially militarily, in the military. I can't speak that word this morning. And also financially, it needs to do this. Now, it's not exactly true that China banned Bitcoin outright. It banned the retail use of Bitcoin because it didn't want to, mess with the yuan, the China yuan. But however, Hong Kong has been kind of a crypto center for a while, and they didn't really crash down on them. They didn't go in and, take the people away and disappear them as they do with some other people. But so they've been involved in it. But now they're quietly saying, yeah, we need to get more involved in it. Now, with that happening, okay, and we're talking about the G7, especially the United States adopting a Bitcoin reserve, it becomes more and more probable that this parabolic move is going to happen. And as I said in my other videos, when we start taking over, when we get to 140,000, we blast through the UK. Okay, and that means we would have served France's GDP, and now we're eating into the UK. So Bitcoin, really, 200,000 is probably an underestimate. Probably more like 500,000, in my opinion. All right. So China unbanning Bitcoin. The world's biggest crypto critic is starting to turn bullish. It's a massive signal for a shift in global power. The next stop, Bitcoin 200,000 overall, not happening tomorrow. So just, we're talking overall. Let's go over to good old Ethereum. All right. So I want to show you Ethereum chart right here. And what do we got here? All right, where's my Ethereum charts? Here we go. I lost my chart here again. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can find it over here. Okay, I want to grab this chart, and I want to pull it over here. I can work on this. All right, so right now in Ethereum, Golden Cross flashed. And let's go back in time. I want to show you back in time what happened. We have it over here, right here. Okay, so we got the two Ethereum charts lined up right here. So we got the golden cross that's flashing in Ethereum. Last time it happened, we had a small dip. 11 days, we had an explosive pump. Right now, we're in day 7. So we got 4 days before history starts to repeat itself. Are you ready for it? Now, I talked about Ethereum before, and I want to go over to this chart of Ethereum. We have the breakout price at 2,800. Let's go right there, 2,807. That for me is the beginning of the next move up. Now it's close to 3,000. Okay, so but really, if we break the 2,000, say 800 point, in my opinion, I believe that Ethereum is going to move up towards this high right here. Now, remember, this is a 12-hour chart, so we're looking for short-term traders. If you're buying the breakout, you put a tight stop on it, and your target's around 3,314 before you could get a pullback back down to, say, the 2,800 again. All right, so you could look for a pullback from this point up here, pull back down to the 28, maybe possibly lower, and then finally the breakout to around 3,600, 3,700, another pullback, and then finally that $4,000 target that everybody's talking about. So that's what I'm seeing in Ethereum right now. All right, so we want to go into Ethereum. We'll go, Ethereum here longer term. Okay, and let's see if this chart survived. I don't know. Yes, fine. Oh, it just chart survived. Usually I lose my charts. I don't know why, but I lose my charts. But anyway, right here we're looking at Ethereum. It just touched the green zone again. It marked every macro bottom in the past. Each time it touched this, Ethereum exploded. Will this time be different? I don't think so. Let's let the rally begin. And I believe that the spark is going to be above that 2,800. I believe the spark will be above 2,800. Let's go over to the total market, crypto total market cap here. We got some good indicators here for the total market cap right here if we're looking at this. All right. It's a little bit of an unpopular opinion. If we're looking at this, we're seeing the same playbook. All right, initial rally, major liquidation events. Now we got all this crap with the tariffs again. We got the double bottom. Market explodes. Now look at this. We're inside a flag here. We're breaking out of the flag. We're looking for the market to explode. So, yes, again, I told you guys, stop crying about when's altcoin season going to start. It's starting, okay? And, we talked about it. So, just be patient. And let's look at this market right here where we look, where we're going to compare these marketplaces here. Let's go back in time right here. Look. We got confluence. We're always looking for confluence. We're always looking for the history to basically tell us what the future is going to be. Now, of course, it doesn't happen exactly, but it happens quite often enough and quite with a little bit of a similar nature that we could actually say, hey, look, we're beginning, okay? If you look at 2019 to 2020, it looks like this season is going to make 2021 look like really small. The charts are screaming it. The patterns are perfect. The only question is, how big is it going to be? All right. If we knew that, well, we'd be sitting on some beautiful island somewhere sipping margaritas or something and just enjoying ourselves like all those other people that run the G7 are until it's over with them. So anyway, that's what we got going. We got Bitcoin in a tight consolidation zone right now. Think coiled spring, and if we break northward above the 113, as other traders are saying, we could definitely see an explosive move up to 116. All right, so we got that going for us. We got all the other historical patterns that we just been talking about. And, that's the update I got for Sunday. Just keep your eyes on what Powell says. Like, I wouldn't even listen to the dude. I'd be just watching the dollar yen chart. I mean, that's going to be the key. All right. I'm going to pull that chart up right now because it's easy to see. This is the 1 hour. I'm going to go the weekly chart that I pulled up before. Oh, wow, that looks a little wild. Okay. So really what we're looking at right now in dollar yen, if dollar yen, this is what I'm looking for. If dollar yen breaks that 139.47, woohoo, woohoo, I'm in the money, and, next stop is 137, like 820. So watch this dollar yen. This dollar yen is going to be important. Now, this is a weekly. You could go to the daily chart on it, and you could see where the upper resistance is, what, 148.35. We got the support at 140, the figure right now. Good old Tom will be in a bit of hot water if we break 140, 144. But anyway, that's what we got going. So remember, before we close out, crew, I got to let you know about our totally free community. Please, 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 please make sure that you are looking to get involved in this. All you have to do is click on this link right there. You'll be taken over to this site where you can join the free community. You want to follow us on our preferred broker, you can come on over to here and click on the WEEX link, and you'll be taken over to our broker where we have a trade running right now. And this broker is perfect for us. It's fast executions, really low fees, and we're here. So if you want to mirror our trades or start following us, because we're going to be doing live trading on next Saturday, you'd probably want to have the same broker as us. In my opinion, you could pick anybody you want, higher fees and lower execution. That's up to you. But anyway, this is our preferred broker of choice. Don't forget to come on over to X. Follow us on X, where we are always talking about Bitcoin and crypto all day, every day. Remember, do your own research. Trade with your head, not over it. And remember, always as a short-term trader, enjoy the party, but dance near the door. Cheers.